Hey guys, it's Missy Wolf and I am back with Ronnie Eaton. How are you doing?
I am doing excellent. How are you?
I am doing well. I'm so excited that I got a sneak peek of some of your new stuff. I got to tell you, the song Downwind. I can totally see that in a movie. Like, I don't know. To me, that needs to be on a soundtrack somewhere, and I need to be seeing it on the big screen.
Well, that that song is actually the song that started the whole process for the album. It's kind of a ghost story behind it. Some weird thing that happened to me on the road. We played this show and in Midland, which is about 2 hours away from Lubbock. And on the way back, I had to use the bathroom, and there's nowhere to use the bathroom between La Mesa, which is about 15, 20 minutes outside of Midland, and Lubbock. So the guys that are in the truck with me started hazing me, and they're like talking about waterfalls. So I told them, I said, when we get to the small town outside of Lubbock called Tahoka, I'm going to use the bathroom. It's going to be great. And there's one convenience store in that town, and it was closed at
No.
3 o'clock in the morning when we got there. And it was an emergency. So I told the guys, I said, y'all sit out by the truck, and I'm going to walk around back and handle things. And I went back there, and Tahoka's a town of about 2,000 people. It's a really small town. And I heard these small children singing. And you can see literally, like, West Texas is so flat. You can see in miles any direction. And these small children were singing over and over like a jump rope chant. Downwind, stay downwind. And it really freaked me out because it got louder and louder. So I run around the corner, and I tell the guys, I'm like, did y'all hear that? And they did not.
Oh,
So
man.
we awkwardly drive home, and I look like I'm crazy, and I unload all our gear when we get to the house, and my wife wakes up, and she asked me how the night went, and I said it was fine except for this weird thing that happened in Tahoka. And then she tells me about this tragedy that happened there just 2 days prior to that, and I walked around with that melody in my head. I wrote it down, pitched it to the band. They didn't really like it that much, but our keyboard player did. He said, why don't we try to record this? And we did. We laid down a demo, and then I had all these other friends in town that are in different bands, and they all were like, well, if you're recording stuff and your band doesn't want to record, can we jump in on it? So that's just kind of how it all started.
Oh, wow. I can't imagine being you though in that moment, hearing those voices. Holy cow. I'm a scaredy cat. I'm a big scaredy cat, and I've tried watching those ghost adventure shows and all that, and I like end up crying and have to turn the TV off because I can't handle it. How in the world were you keeping your composure in that car on the way home?
I mean, I had my bandmates with me, which doesn't normally help because it was just a really awkward, quiet drive home because
They were already hazing you, so.
Well, yeah, but then they were like, do you think you heard a ghost? I was like, I don't know what I heard, man. I don't know what I heard, but it gave me the inspiration for that
Yeah.
song.
Well,
And
yeah, definitely. That's a big thank you to them, right? I mean, whoever's voices those were, thank you. No, it's a great song, but that's exactly the feeling of it. Was like just it belongs in a movie somewhere in a scene, in a mini series or something. Like it belongs on film, for sure. I just, when I heard that, I immediately was like, that I can see a lot of people showing interest in that song for that reason. And it's beautifully written. I loved it. And I love The Devil in My Suitcase. That was great.
yeah, and that was a song I wrote when I was in Nashville, staying with some friends there. We played a songwriter showcase and just sat back on their patio and kind of wrote this song about how I was a little bit tired of the road.
Right. I imagine when you travel as much as you do and you're performing and performing over and over and over, that it's got to get tiring. And, I often talk about balancing your music career with life to different artists. Is it hard for you?
Yeah, I have a good support system, and I think that helps. And I know a lot of guys and like their girlfriends or whatever don't really like them doing it or don't really support it. And it's a lot harder for them. But thankfully, I have a really strong support system that, so I don't have to be full of regret or
Right.
apologies all the time. So
Yeah, and I know, and no disrespect to the significant others out there that live this life with their, their mate who's their artist, I think it's really, really a difficult thing to do, and kudos to everybody who tries, kudos to everybody who does it. Not everyone succeeds. I've seen it, I've seen a lot of girls have to bail because it's just been so hard.
there would be no way that I would date a musician.
Right? No, it is a challenging life. I mean, and you got to have a thick skin too, because when you go out on stage, you got to seduce your audience. You got to make them want more. You got to make them crave you. And with that comes those women who think they have a chance.
Well, they don't.
No, I know that.
But yeah, I know what you're saying. I've never really been on that side of it, but yeah, I can only imagine that that's pretty difficult.
Yeah, so I mean, I've heard so many stories from so many people throughout the years, and it's just, that's why I said kudos to everybody who, your support system that you have. That's great. That's amazing, and I love that, and I love hearing that, because you do hear a lot of success stories too, but there's always those girls who are just very, very insecure, and they just should not date musicians at all.
Yeah, for sure, and I've been in those relationships before too. So
yeah,
no doubt. Yeah, my wife is awesome about all that.
No, that's good. I love it. Now, do you guys have kids? I don't remember if we talked about that last time.
I have one son, and he's almost 18, and he's also a musician. And
wait, what?
School.
You don't look old enough to have an 18-year-old.
Between me and you, I'm probably not old enough to have an 18-year-old, but
okay. Well, you look amazing, and I bet you guys are like out in the town as brothers then, because I tell my daughter all the time, you're gonna grow up and be my friend. Like, you're gonna be like my sister. You're graduating from daughter right up to sister. Like, yeah,
we have a really close relationship, and I was a single dad for a long time, so we got to get really close, and then when Rebecca joined us, it just made everybody. We have a great little family.
That's awesome. That's awesome. So what do you have coming up? Because you sounded so excited when you contacted me, and it immediately, I was excited for you, and I was like, oh my gosh, we definitely have to do this interview and talk about everything you have coming up.
I'm super, super excited about this album that we're working on right now. It's called The Hand That Mocked Them and the Heart That Fed, which is a line from a Percy Shelley poem, Ozymandias, which just kind of meant, like, as an artist, you kind of have this feeling that what you create can never really match up to the expectations of your heart and your soul. Like, so there's this internal struggle to keep doing better and better. And all the songs in the order that they're in tell the story of this soldier who's back from the war, and he's just trying to figure out how to get life back together, and in doing so he makes some bad decisions, and all the songs are very personal for me, but then also the way they were written, being able to tie them into that theme. So we're really, really excited, and we originally were just going to do it as an acoustic album, and then I had so many friends that wanted to jump in and play fiddle or lead guitar, drums or whatever, and it just turned into this big thing. So we're trying to raise the money right now to get it released on vinyl. We have an Indiegogo fund up there. You can just search for my name. And we're really excited. We're doing well on that. And some of these songs, I mean, you should feel this way with every release, but I haven't. But some of these songs are the best ones I've ever written, and I'm really excited to get them out there.
That's awesome to hear. I love that. And, that's another thing you hear when you're doing interviews with artists is, okay, this one, it's my best one, it's my greatest work. And then some of them say, well, you kind of got to say that, right? Because it's the newest thing you've worked on. But when you talk to somebody who really, truly is so in love with what they've just created, and they're not just saying it because it's the latest thing that they've worked on, you can tell the difference. And it's just, you can see it in your face when you're talking about it. It's really awesome, and I'm so happy for you.
Thank you so much, and you're right. At the end of the day, you're a salesman, and you're trying to sell your product. But this is something that I just, even if nobody were to purchase it, I would feel very, very proud of it. And I couldn't have said that with everything that I've released, but right. Not that I don't have some stuff that I'm proud of, but this I'm very excited to get out there, and just the sheer amount of talent, like in the Lubbock area, and it's just that everyone was so supportive about, like, oh, you're doing this thing, let us help you out. You know, my band was really supportive with it too. They're just like, yeah, man, go for it. We don't really want to play these songs. So.
Right. No, that's great. That's exciting. And, you know, and it's true. And no matter what you're doing in life, too, there's always that one thing where you're like, yeah, I really didn't like when I did that. I mean, for me, with my interviews, there are some that stand out to me as not my best work. I'm just just going to say there's one in particular from last year's CMA Fest that I was like, never again am I ever going to eat a chocolate cupcake before an interview because I was a little crazy. And I think I scared the poor girl a little bit, just a little bit. But no, but you know, I love that though, because when you're excited about what you're doing and you've just got that momentum and you've got people supporting you and helping you and you're just, you know, everything just seems to move in that positive direction. And it's so crazy to see everything change, right? I mean, when you're working on one thing and you're not maybe in the best environment, you're not feeling the greatest about it, it doesn't move like you'd like it to. But then when you're happy about something, it just pushes forward and it's like little effort, right?
Yeah, and you know, my name's on everything. It's like Ronnie Eaton. But our keyboard player, Aaron Dick, has really kind of spearheaded this project, which is really, really humbling and awesome to me that he believes so much in these songs. He's like, no, we are going to record them. This is who we're going to get to play. This is, you know, and like done all the skates. Like I'm just like, oh well, okay. And like I said, for me, it was just like I wanted to get these songs just kind of laid down. I didn't really intend on a release, but it turned into this big, awesome, organic thing, which is really cool too, because it wasn't planned, and just everybody came in and just cared so much about their part and about the song. They'd listened to the acoustic demos and they're like, okay, I want to make really, you know, good and sure that I take care of this art. And that meant the world to me. These people are not only close friends, but we get to share that music connection.
Right. Well, I am so excited. I mean, I only got to hear the 2 songs, and I'm like, already, I want more. You know, I'm like, I can't. I was singing along to today. I was like, man, it's so catchy. The Downwind one is so catchy, and you know, now I'm gonna have that story that led to that song's kind of stuck in my head for a little bit. And don't be surprised if I text you later telling you I had nightmares or something, because I'm so
well, and it was weird too, because I originally kind of wrote it like as a bluesy riff thing, and when everybody came in and played their parts, it did turn into like this spooky thing. And once again, it wasn't planned. That's just how. And you know, we told everybody that came in, they were like, what do you want me to play? How do you want me to play? And I was just like, just you play, and then if we like it, we'll give you a thumbs up, and if we don't, we'll try something else. But everybody essentially just came in and nailed their parts. And that song specifically, it was so weird to me how spooky it turned out with the female vocals and the cello and everything that everyone laid down. It was really cool that it just naturally lent itself in that direction.
But it's so cool. I mean, it's a little spooky, but it's in the best, greatest way. And like I said, that's why that it reminded me, and don't get mad, but it reminded me of, like, you know, in the Pirates of the Caribbean, that one, was it the third? I don't remember which movie it was, but when they were all like singing that like chant song before they were hung. What's the name of that song?
Were they singing like "Yo" in a bottle of rum, or?
No, it wasn't that one. It was that really eerie one.
I've only seen the first.
Okay, see, I feel like a total idiot now. Everybody out there who's watching who knows what the Pirates of the Caribbean one is, and I know Luke Cacetta is going to be so mad at me because we were just talking about this a couple of weeks ago. But anyways, but it reminded me of a scene in one of those movies where it was just very, very that tone, that vibe, and it was like, that's why I could see it in a movie immediately. You know, it was just it's got a story to tell, and it needs to be on there. It just does. It needs to be on film.
And for me, like from a songwriting perspective, is I'm not really like a great guitar player, a great singer or anything. I'm primarily a songwriter. So I like listening to and creating songs that I don't feel like anybody else could ever write. Like the songwriter Frank Turner, he has a song called Plain Sailing Weather. I grew up in West Texas, so I would never think of using that metaphor of, you know, plain sailing weather for a ship. And right. So, you know, that ghost story, that thing that happened to me, it's so specifically like I like making art that I feel like couldn't be made anywhere else. It's very unique, and being able to share that.
Absolutely, and you know what? And it shows, and that's what's going to set you apart, right, from others too, because you get it and you have embraced it, and I think it's great, and I think your listeners are going to absolutely love it. I mean, I did immediately, so I can't wait to help you get it out there even more. I think fans are going to just absolutely love it.
I certainly hope so, and I really do appreciate you guys taking time out to talk to me and to help me promote. And the other songs on the album, what's so cool to me is we went in so many different directions, and we have some that are kind of like traditional country songs. Laurel from Flatland Cavalry, if you're familiar with that band, she played fiddle on 3 or 4 songs, and just lending it to that direction. It's very different than anything that I've ever done. And I'm also very excited about that because everybody's kind of put their unique stamp on it. So every song is, it's still my voice and my writing style, but every song has a very unique feel to it.
Right. That's really cool. And the fact that your album tells a story too, that each song is just another part of an overall story, that's really unique too. And I know that there have been other bands that have tried to do that, and other artists that have done that, but with every single song, I think that's really neat, and I think that fans really get a kick out of it, because a lot of times it's like, okay, well, there's a story on the album and there's a couple of them that go together, but then we just have other ones that we put on as well that don't really go along with it. But to have a complete story, that's really pretty cool. I really like that idea.
And I think it's something too that, recently music trends, everybody just wants a single and everybody just wants to listen to 1 or 2 songs, but hopefully it'll give people motivation to kind of listen to the album in order and genuinely experience this story of kind of coming home and losing everything and then kind of making some bad decisions and then redeeming yourself. And
that's awesome. That is so cool. And if that song does end up on film or something, I'm just saying it needs to be. But if not, you can do it yourself by doing like chronological music videos or something.
Yeah, and that's something that we've thought about too, and something we'd be very interested in. Just kind of seeing where it goes right now. I'm terrible at planning.
No, it's fine. You know what? In doing things as it comes works really well for a lot of people. You know what I mean? Because when it feels right, and then you do it, it's all, well, I always say, it's God's timing, right? Like, I could plan a million different things, and then they don't happen because it's not supposed to be according to my plan. So just whatever, when it's right and when it happens, it'll happen, but I think it's a good idea. Yeah,
certainly. And I totally agree with you on that, on God's timing. That's pretty much been the mission statement of the whole album. It's everything has been so just organic. I guess that's the best word I can come up with, but it's all just happened.
And there's a reason why you had to wait and go to that one town at 3 o'clock in the morning. It was the timing. It was perfect. Yes. It had to happen that way.
And I grew up in a small town that's probably 20 minutes away from there too. We could have went another way, but we didn't. So I don't know.
That's so cool. Now, if I told you some of my stories, and that's why I get so creeped out, because there's one, I was on my way to Arizona and I ended up having to go a different route. And I wasn't planning on going a different route. And it was a part of California I had never driven through before. And I lived in California. I was born and raised. And driving through this one part, I'm just not even joking, I ended up in tears. And my kids were like, what is wrong? And I couldn't even speak because what just happened was so crazy. What I saw was so real and so crazy. And when I couldn't let it go, so I looked it up online. What happened here? And the picture that showed up is what I had just seen in front of me, and I freaked out. Nobody could calm me down. It was the craziest experience I'd ever.
What? I gotta know. What did you see?
Oh my gosh! I saw a young man, I don't know, like 9 or 10, saying, "I'm still here. I'm still here. Help find me. I'm still here." And I was like, "What the heck?"
Oh.
And it was so real. And I couldn't handle it. And I was like, who is this kid? Who's this boy? And they were doing a search for a boy that drowned. And the picture was the same kid. And I was just like, oh I can't do this.
That's crazy.
Yeah, it was in one of those like channels, like those canal things. It was driving by the Salton Sea, and there was like this area that we drove over, and there was just all these like canal areas, and it was so freaky. And I know people are watching, they're probably like, oh my god, you're so weird, but it was one of the scariest moments ever that I'd ever had, because
it gave me chills.
I know, I couldn't help it. I'm sorry, but your story reminded me of that, and it is. I would have freaked out had I heard those girls singing, chanting.
Well, and I think that, like, you know, almost everybody has a weird story like that. Like, I saw a thing I can't explain, or I heard a thing that I couldn't explain, and so I don't know. Hopefully, it's relatable on that note too, because everybody's got a ghost story.
Or they know somebody who does, and you know they've heard it growing up or whatever. I mean, you know, it's and I think maybe that's why I was so drawn to that song immediately, because it was just, it had that overall feel to it. I had no idea I was going to get that story out of you though. That was pretty intense. It's just
yeah, I mean, I like to be pretty transparent and honest about what I write about and why, and that was that was the song that started the whole album, because
awesome.
You know, we kind of played around with it, and Aaron was like, do you have more songs that are kind of in this vein? And I said, well, actually, I've got about 12 of them. So we weeded it down to 10, and that's what turned into the record that we've been working on for the past 6 months or so.
That's just so flippin' cool. I love it. I absolutely love it. Is there anything else that you want to tell fans though? I feel like I always take control, and I just like pull the conversation the way that I want it to go, and I kind of got to give it back to you a little bit. Is there anything that we didn't discuss that you want to talk about?
No. I mean, we're going to be releasing a single soon, and it's unfortunately not ready yet, so you haven't heard it yet, but I will send it to you as soon as it is, hopefully next week. And so we'll be releasing a single soon, and right now we're doing the Indiegogo campaign, and if you are interested in supporting us or being a part of the album, you know, it's not like we're raising money for it. You get to essentially pre-order, and you'll get some cool stuff on the way, like t-shirts and other things. So if you feel interested, you know, please go to Indiegogo.com and type in my name and check out everything that's going on there and help us out, and we sure would appreciate it. Just kind of been blown away with the support we've had so far. We're not at our goal yet, but just I don't know. Just I know how hard people work and how much you know. Sometimes it's hard to put groceries on the table. I know what it's like. So it means a lot to me when people take their time out, their money out to support something that they think is important enough to give that amount of money to.
Absolutely. And a lot of people really enjoy helping others out. And when you have a good songwriter and you have great music, people want more of it. People want more real music. We're firm believers here at Center Stage Magazine that there's just way, way, way more talent than what's on the radio. And we're all about bringing that talent to everyone. And we're doing it every way that we possibly can. And we're going to keep promoting you. Absolutely. You deserve it 100%. So anything we can do to help, we absolutely will. And we're going to put a link up for everybody at home too. So you guys watching, it's going to be easy to find. We're just going to put it in the article for you. So yay, I'm so excited. And I can't wait to hear your new single. I'm going to be like craving all of your music, man. As soon as you get it, you got to send it to me.
Needs to hear it.
I know. Like, I'm gonna go on and pre-order myself because that's awesome. And you're giving stuff away with it. That's so cool. I love that. Yeah,
and because you can just download a $10 MP3 album anywhere. So you want to make it more like it used to be when you could go buy an album and there was a T-shirt in the box and you got this cool T-shirt that was exclusive to the album, or you get your I went to Seattle a few years ago and going through the museum and seeing like Chris Cornell's handwritten lyrics. That stuff is cool to me. So like if you want some handwritten lyrics, I have those ready to give out. So I just want to make it worth your time. Absolutely. And I think that fans truly do love and cherish that because you can't just get that anywhere, and I mean real music fans, real collectors, they long for that stuff, and I'm one of them. I love that kind of stuff, when we go to concerts, we even find when they're selling some unique art item
We went to a Steel Panther concert not too long ago, and the band members were, I know. So you know who they are. That's awesome.
Yeah, we actually played a private party at the House of Blues after their show in Dallas. So
that's awesome. They are so great, and their whole just their whole act is just phenomenal. But they color, draw, paint, whatever on these drum heads, and they're really, really cool. And a lot of them are super inappropriate. and I was like, I cannot buy an inappropriate one, but I want one so bad. So see, I bought one too.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I'm that girl. But it's true. Music fans, they love the unique stuff that you can't just get everywhere else. And
And me too. Before anything else, I'm a fan of music. I mean, I always reading musicians' autobiographies, and I fell in love with music at a very early age. That's why I wanted to try to create music. I still have
I think we lost you for a minute.
Oh, I'm sorry.
No, it's okay. I did. I
there?
lost you for a second. You said you had something, and then you went.
Oh, Doyle from the Misfits, the guitar player for the Misfits. I still have his guitar pick that I got when I was 14 or 15 years old. So just things like that, I would hope that that would mean something to other people as well.
Absolutely. Oh, hey, that reminds me. I have rose petals in my jacket pocket from Rick Springfield. He shredded the roses on his guitar, and they all flew at me.
Yeah.
I have a pocket full of rose petals. I gotta go dig those out. Oh, that's pretty funny.
You were Jesse's girl for one night.
For one night, I was actually. I got to sit with him and talk with him, and it was really kind of it was one of those interviews I'll never forget, because he actually seemed a little nervous sitting next to me, and I thought, why? Why are you nervous sitting next to me? I'm nobody special. I'm just me. But it was really cute. He was really, really super nice, super fun guy. Still can't believe I actually got to talk to him either. But yes, I was so excited to have those roses flying at my face. It's pretty great.
That's awesome.
But all right, we're gonna let you go. Thank you so much for taking the time to talk with us tonight. And I mean, anything else we can do for you, just always let me know. I'm so glad you reached out to me, and I'm so glad you let me do a Skype interview with you tonight, because they're my new favorite thing. I'm over the phone interviews. People need to see you. They need to connect to you. So thank you for playing along. I love that. But
I appreciate you guys. Thank you so much, Missy and Center Stage, for your support and for just doing everything that you guys do.
No problem. But until next time, guys, stay tuned for more from this guy, because he's amazing. All right. See ya.